Meet Bonati Spine Institute surgical guest, Woody.
I live in Bradenton, Florida. I work for a large commercial contracting company. We build hospitals. That's not nearly as much fun as when I used to own a dive shop down in the Keys for many years, but this pays the bills. When I have spare time, I like to use it having fun, going scuba diving, riding my motorcycles. It's not that much fun washing my truck, but it needs to be done. We like to go out occasionally on weekends and local tiki bar, and we're actually foodies too, so we try to seek out good restaurants.
He lives actively now, but just a couple years ago, pain, numbness, and loss of function in his hand and arm due to cervical spine issues made his circumstances very different.
My pain started approximately 35 years ago. I was a passenger in a 1965 Mustang, it's a little small car, and the guy driving drove right into traffic, so right on my side of the car that I was in, this 1973 gunboat of a Ford Torino just creamed me. I guess my back, according to the doctor then, was broken in 3 places. The doctor right then, when I was admitted to the hospital, got me in some kind of traction device to help get the pressure off of the swelling from the fractures in my vertebrae. I've had pain off and on ever since that day of that wreck. I would have enough pain where I'm down and out. And that would last for about 20 some odd years, but mostly my hands, my fingers would be numb. There was pain right by my shoulder blade, my right shoulder blade. There's a muscle there that just would not let go. The worst part is the burning pain in my spine, right at the base of my neck. I tried chiropractic care to help relieve the pain, but it did not work. When they give me an adjustment, it would last for a day or so, and then I was able to function somewhat. I would try various painkillers, some numbing creams, the icy hots, the whatever topical treatments, and it was just wasting my time. The only way I could ever find any relief before the procedure was to take my right arm and to put it above my head. That's the only way I could go to sleep or get any relief. One day at work, I'm sitting there at my print table and I just completely passed out. My boss walks in and says, "Time for a nap?" And I was in so much pain I couldn't even hardly tell him. So anyway, that's when I started my search to figure out what I'm gonna do.
Woody began looking for help from spine specialists in the greater Tampa Bay area.
I went to one place that was local here in Tampa. I saw an ad on the TV. I went in there and had the consultation with the doctor there. After a few minutes, they start explaining to me that it's not going to be minimally invasive. They're going to come through my throat and put plates in there. My father had a spinal fusion done many years ago, and he regrets it to this day. On the way out of that doctor's office, there was this poor lady coming in, standing at the front desk, and she has this contraption on her and these rods, and it's holding her neck so she can't move. And part of their procedure is 6 weeks or however long she has to live like that. And I said, "There's no way." I'm out the door. After I left that place in Tampa, I knew I had to find a better alternative. So I called Dr. Bonati. I left a message there one day, approximately 11 o'clock in the morning. Dr. Bonati himself called me back around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Mr. Bonati asked me several questions, if I have pain here or there or numbness here and there. I answered all his questions. He knew exactly what was wrong with me and told me briefly how he could fix me. I knew it was the right choice simply because they don't believe in going through your throat.
His in-person consultation at the Bonati Spine Institute was in the fall of 2019.
I came in for my consultation middle of August 2019. I met with the nurse. She had a little drawing here showing how exactly they relieve all the pressure and only the size of the scar, and it's all outpatient. Dr. Bonati came into the room. He looked at my MRI, made a few notes on there, turned around and looked at me. He says, "Hold your hand up." So I hold my hand up, and he grabs a hold, and I'm pulling. I'm like, yes. He says, "Okay, now push against my hand." I could not push against his hand hard enough to push a marshmallow. He showed me all the atrophy of my muscles here due to the nerve damage, because I never saw it, because you always use your hand this way. So when I had to push against it, it was like, oh my God. So that day we made an appointment. I believe it was 2 weeks later for the first procedure.
Through the use of conscious IV sedation, Bonati's surgical guest will be a partner in their procedure and interact with the surgeon.
I've had a total of 2 operations, one at the first location and one 2 weeks later at the second location. They told me I'd be awake during surgery. They do need some input from me, but I thought it was pretty cool. I said, yeah, this is great. It's actually fascinating. During the procedure, I remember watching the monitor, and it looked like things were this big, but you could see the actual tools moving on that monitor. And Dr. Bonati asked me for a little bit of input as he proceeded along to say, okay, how does that feel? Do you feel this? And giving him input back. Right after my procedure in the recovery, the pain was gone. I mean, it was instantaneous. I was great. I'm brand new and 10 foot tall and bulletproof now. I told the nurse, I said, I'm ready to go.
When he returned home from the Bonati Spine Institute, Woody wasted no time getting back to his responsibilities.
After my procedure, there was no physical therapy, brace, or anything. I was free to go back and live my life. The next day, my wife says, you know, the grass is getting a little bit tall. I said, yes, ma'am. Can it wait one more day? So I was cutting grass 2 days after the procedure. I had my procedure Friday at the Institute. I was back at work Monday morning. I can go back scuba diving, like I said before. I ride my motorcycle. I can work on my own truck now instead of paying someone else, because I don't trust anyone else to work on my truck. Life's back to normal. I am very satisfied with my procedure, and I'm going to have Dr. Bonati do this side next. And then I will be brand new. If I ever meet someone in the same kind of pain that I was in due to nerve damage or whatevers or botched procedures, I will recommend Dr. Bonati any day of the week. I'm his biggest fan.